Hello friends, welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. It's been a while since I uploaded a video because I was very busy at work and in my personal life. I'm getting ready for a trip back to my country to visit my parents, and the preparations are taking up too much time, and that's the reason why I wasn't able to post a video within the couple days. I believe it's been 10 or so days since I posted my last video, and we are breaking that today with a Boeing 787 video with a new development group started to mod this system, mod this aircraft, sorry. We will jump into the cockpit here in a second. This new group is calling themselves Heavy Division, and different from Hangar 9 systems, they found a way to mod the Boeing 787. Even if the core files are encrypted, they found a workaround to mod this aircraft. And they did some modding so far. They have 3 versions of this mod, like the fly-by-wire A320, a stable release, which doesn't offer too much at the moment, a development version which offers a little bit more than the stable, and then an experimental version which offers the most in terms of the modded systems and all that. So that's what I have today. I downloaded their experimental mod, but I will link all 3 versions to the description field of this video if you want to go and check it out for yourself and see how it performs. We will be going through some functions brought in with the experimental version, and things like VNAV, which is now working. During descent, the aircraft follows a VNAV path. It calculates the top of descent up in the air, which we will not see today because we will leave this video on the ground and finish it on the ground and leave the flight to another video for the future, or in the future, I'm sorry. There are some more PFD-ND pages available with the mod, like the hydraulics, cabin temperature and air conditioning systems, gear page, and the gear temperatures and all that. It also has some additional functionality brought into the FMS, which we will look into, and it has simreev integration to load your flight plan from simreev. Alright, so I think that's enough talking. Without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit and start looking into what the Heavy Division mod brings to 787-10. Alright, so for some reason we are not into the cockpit, but we will get in there. Not sure why that happened. So let's start with powering on the aircraft with turning on the battery and switching to the external power. First things first, the IRS knobs are now moving, or you can turn them to the on position with the experimental version. This is still not possible with the development or the stable version of this mod. And then it starts to align the IRS, and different than the Heavy Division made some different approach to IRS alignment to make it more realistic or close to real life than the Hangar 9 systems, and it will align based on your location or how far you are from the Ecuador. And that's how the IRS systems align in real world. If you are, I think, close to the Ecuador, it takes less time. If you are far away, it takes more time, so on and so forth. And you can change these alignment options under the configuration menu, which we will look here in a second. We will start with the, actually let's start with the screens that you can change here, both here and here. If I click the systems page, we can take a look at what's made available. As you see, we have the fuel page that's functional now. If I turn on the fuel pumps, like let's see. Fuel pumps, if I turn them on, you will see them turning to green, like so, down below. If I get closer, I think it will make more sense. As you see, the pumps turn to green when I turn them off. On. If I turn them off now, they should go back to white color when we look to the screen, which is great. That screen at that page is modeled. Stats page gives you some stats about hydraulic systems, APU, oxygen on board, so on and so forth. It is modeled. Electrical page is still not modeled yet. Hydraulic page is working, and as you see, it's green, so we have hydraulic pumps running at the moment, and it's showing the hydraulic pressure as well. We look to the fuel page, the air page, or the cabin temperature, and the AC or air condition and trim air systems. It's also modeled into the aircraft. And the other thing I want to show is, if I go to this heavy menu and go to the configuration, if I change the imperial units to metric, you can see it's changing from pounds to kilograms here. I wish it was changing for the air from Fahrenheit to Celsius when you do that, but it's not changing. I hope they will bring this to this page as well. Door page is active, it's modeled and it's working. And as I said at the beginning of the video, the gear page is working. Like you see, the gear door is closed, gear is down, and then these are I believe these are the tire pressures. Flight control page is also working, like full left, full right, full forward, full back, left rudder, right rudder, and then speed brakes. As you heard, they are working too. EFIS and DSP page is not modeled, maintenance page is not modeled, and CB page is not modeled at the moment. But these are good improvements over the default aircraft, so I will take any of them. Let's start with this heavy menu and with the configuration. You have simreev integration, which I filled, and what you will have under this page is you either put your simreev username into the top box or your simreev pilot ID or user ID into the below box to make the integration. I used my user ID, you can plug in yours, and that will bring the flight plan into the FMS from simreev. As you see, you can change the units from imperial to metric. We will keep it at imperial, and the flight plan sync is turned on at the moment. I think this is also for simreev. Haven't read the documentation on what this really means, but I believe it's also related to simreev. If not, when you are loading your flight plan from the world map menu, or the plan that you saved from world map menu, I think this might be related to that too. Alright, so the IRS menu, as you see, the aligning time is real. You can force align and it will align instantly, or you can change this from real to short, and some other options you will see here when you click this. And these are already, as I said, these are for the experimental version of the mod. Payload manager, as the name suggests, you will enter your payload here and it will load the aircraft, which we will look into later on after importing the flight plan. And the sim rate manager is it's the sim rate. As if you have messed with sim rate, you can speed up the time in the simulator if you don't like to sit and watch the aircraft cruise for a long flight. And I haven't played with this yet, so I cannot give enough information about what it does, but you can pause, unpause the simulator, you can slow down or speed up the time in the simulator, but I haven't played with this, so I will talk about this later on when I have enough experience and when I can talk about it. And this is all the options we get now with the heavy division mod, the experimental version. We will look into the flight plan and I will talk about some more functionality brought by the heavy division team into the FMS. Like the holes, this aircraft can fly the holes now. Or you have a VNAV page that we can set the cruising altitude, the speed for climb, cruise, or we can I think we cannot do anything for the descent yet, but yeah. So this VNAV page also works, the holds page also works. You can set up a hold, but we don't have any flight plan, so it's not gonna show anything to us yet. So let's go to the init ref page and let's initialize our position first, and put the reference airport as Kilo Oscar Romeo Delta. We are at Chicago O'Hare International. Can't remember the gate number, but it shouldn't matter. And let's go to the route menu. So to recall the flight plan from simreev, first you need to generate the operational flight plan in simreev, obviously, and from there you can hit this request button and it will give you two options: load flight plan from game. I think this is when you save a world map menu flight plan, you can load it, which I have never tried. I usually go to simreev flight plan and use simreev for my flight planning. And when you click this, you will see it is gonna start loading your flight plan from simreev. It will also load the cost index, cruising altitude, and flight number that you entered into simreev, like as you see. Flight number is 787. It doesn't select the departure and arrival for you. You have to still select them manually. But as you see, the execute button turned to green. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't over here. So this is a bug with the experimental version, but when you execute, the flight plan will be in place. What you need to do is select the departure. We don't have a SID from Chicago, out of Chicago, and we are using runway 10 left to depart. So we will execute this and we'll select the arrival into Miami. We'll do an ILS to runway 09 via the SCOT 5 arrival. We don't have any transition that we need to enter. We'll execute that and that's it. Now when we go into the legs page, we will see all our flight plan waypoints are populated in the FMS. And we will see some discontinuities that we need to fix, like we did with the CRJ or Airbus A320, so on and so forth. So to fix the discontinuities, you simply select the next waypoint and paste it over the discontinuity. And this time this button turned to green, as you see. You can execute this, that will clean that discontinuity. No discontinuities on this page, and on this page there is a discontinuity because of a vector. To clean this, you need to delete the vector. To do that, you select delete and then hit the vectors. Execute. When you delete that, the discontinuity is automatically cleared. You can set some restrictions if you like to certain waypoints, like if I flight level 370, so let's say if I have to cross, or if the ATC call tells me to cross this waypoint at 20,000 feet, I can put a restriction of flight level 200, place it in here, it will cross that waypoint, and VNAV will calculate this when calculating the VNAV descent path, which is great. So that's the legs page. From that, I think we need to initialize our performance, and to do that we need to know our payload. And as you see, the screen changed because the IRS is now aligned. Let's go back. Let's go back to the heavy menu and let's use the payload manager. So our payload for today's flight is 87,600. We will plug it in here, and the fuel on board, it is asking for gallons. simreev gives you pounds, so I'm gonna throw something in there just to demonstrate. Let's say the fuel required is 9,500. We'll plug it in there, and this is, as you see, required values and actual values, and you can also enter the center of gravity if you like, if you have a calculator that does it for you. When you execute this, voila, the aircraft is being loaded with the selected fuel and the payload, and the CG will be matched to what you have entered here. So that is executed. Let's go back. Let's go to the route menu and performance initialization. Everything should be carried over here. I still see 63.7 pounds of fuel on board, so I'm not sure why the onboard fuel has not changed, but we will leave this discussion for later. You can plug in some reserve fuel, you can change your fuel cruise level, you can change your cost index if you want to. Otherwise, we'll move to the next page, and based on the outside air temperature, which is showing 20 degrees as of now, throughout air temperature is 14, so that's close. You can change that and make it 14, and then it will tell you what your 10% D rate will look like. 87% M1 is our 10% D rate, 77 is our 20% D rate, and you can also take off with no D rating or no thrust limiter at all. We'll keep it at 10%, and we go to the takeoff page. We will do a flaps 10 takeoff out of Chicago. We don't change the thrust reduction altitude, 1500 feet is fine, and all left to us is to calculate the V-speeds by clicking these buttons one by one, and that is our V-speeds calculated. Alright, so now when we go to the VNav page, as you see, it's populated now. We have a cruising altitude of 37,000. We will climb at 310 knots. Transition altitude for United States is 18,000, so we will change that to 18,000. Next page is the cruise. That's your cruise speed and cruising altitude. And then this is the descent page, which I believe does not have any options at the moment. That leaves us with progress page. This gives you some information while you are flying as well as on the ground. Like to the first waypoint, estimated time of arrival is 0100 Zulu based on the current time, and this is direct distance to go, I believe 34 nautical miles. Okay. The fixed page is not working yet. Radio navigation page is working. You can throw in some VOR frequencies if you are going to track VOR stations on the way, and you can put them on the ND, not PFD. ILS frequency is automatically tuned for ILS 09 into Miami Airport. You can put in some ADF if you want to, and it's working. FMC communications page has no options for us yet, so it is just displayed here but without any options. Progress page, we looked into that. Departure arrival, we looked into that. And the only thing that's left here is the holds page. So we can create a hold for this aircraft when you click new hold, and the button is showing not active, but it's actually active. So you can select a new hold for any of the waypoints on your route. Let's say this one. Plug it in here. So it will show route 1 hold, fixes at Lecit. You can change the quad or radial. You can change the inbound course, whether it's going to be right turn, left turn. You can plug in the lag time from 1 minute to whatever minutes you want. Maximum indicated airspeed, estimated time on the fix, so on and so forth. You can execute this to activate the hold, or you can erase it without making any changes. So the holds are working. This aircraft can also calculate the top of descent, which will give you a marker on the ND. If I go back to the ND page, you will see a top of descent mark on your flight plan. I'm not sure if I will be able to show it to you with the current range. I don't think I will be able to, but we can cycle through the legs and see if we can see the top of descent displayed here if we are not up in the air. So let's get the speed brake out of the way. Let's go to the legs page and then let's step through this. Yeah, the top of descent is not shown here. I think you need to be up in the air, but I know it calculates the top of descent, so keep that in mind. Top of descent is working. It's accurately calculated by this aircraft along with the VNAV path. Let's go back to the map mode. Menu page. You can select the VORs as bearing 1 and 2. You can put weather and terrain if you want to. And these other options are also possible with the default 787. Okay guys, I think this is all. Turn on the flight director. You can turn on LNAV, VNAV and auto throttle right now. We can set the cruising altitude to 37,000 feet. Assuming we will be cleared all the way to our cruising altitude. Indicated airspeed can stay around 250 for now. There we go. And we will plug in the runway heading prior to departure, which will be, I believe, around 100 or 97, 98, something around those lines. I have to check the charts to be exact for those. Okay, so over here I think they haven't done anything yet. This is the default pages of the transponder. You can still select your transponder code and plug it in here like so, but this is the radio frequencies, HF, SATCOM. The rest is just pretty much enough. Transponder and the radio is working, but the rest is not modeled yet. Anyway, so this is the Boeing 787-10 with the heavy division mod for you guys. I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the aircraft. I did something wrong, I guess. So let's go to the drone camera. Okay, now it's working. Let's just wrap up the video and say goodbye. I think in the next video we will take Boeing 787 for a spin using the very same flight plan departing out of Chicago, but probably not going to Miami, or I might go to Miami but just cut the video in between so that you don't have to watch a flight from east to west. I'm sorry, from west to from east, from north to south of the country or across the United States, from Chicago all the way to Miami. I don't want you to stay with me for a couple hours just to see how the aircraft will perform, but we will fly this aircraft in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As I said, I was very busy and I will be busy going forward, and I will probably not going to be able to post any videos in the month of June because I will be visiting my parents and I will not have my computer with me and the simulator. And I hope you understand. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are not a subscriber yet, you can consider subscribing and turning on the notifications to get notified for the future episodes. And I'd like to thank you guys one more time for watching my videos and commenting down below and supporting my channel and me as a person. Thank you very much, and I will be seeing you in the next video.